the sector as well, we need to be able to be willing to think about that, and when I say that, I think that maybe in 5 years' time, if we've supported 15 organizations that are doing such a great job, maybe we don't need to exist anymore, thinking about in a way of like, what's your role? And it's not just about having an organization, but really I think we need to think more about scale. There's so much micro thinking, I think, as social people in the social sector.
Yeah. It's really interesting what you're saying, because I think that a few of the problems that I've seen over the years are around that. It's like organizations they might start small, they might start with an idea, and then they it becomes like, how does the organization survive? And I think that sometimes there's a questions about that, like, does the organization really need to survive, right?
Yeah, or is your mission done and you need to, be moving your resources and ideas to a new mission
or something, right?
Becoming just an enabler, or, being that body of knowledge. There's a really, really good article, I think, in the, now I'm going to lose it, but it's called The End Game, and it's I think I'm going to say Harvard Social Review, but
we'll find it.
Link after.
Yeah.
It's really eye-opening in terms of being honest with yourself as a social entrepreneur, as someone that is in the social sector, and say, am I still relevant? Am I really bringing value to the table, or is it justified to exist?
Yeah. One thing that I think is really interesting about your model is that it allows people from the countries where you work or the cities where you're doing the program, whatever, to sort of bring their ideas and then sort of being able to grow them. And I think one of the things that development generally struggles with is like figuring out what the actually good local ideas are, and like supporting things that will, that are innovative and might work and stuff. And I wonder about like how your model and what you do might kind of inject some change in that in some way, because I think particularly sort of established organizations tend to actually struggle to innovate around new ideas, or find ways to sort of invite people to bring them to them or whatever. So I love that you did that, and I wonder what learning we might.
And I guess one thing I guess is where bringing this, like the diversity I talked about, the table. So the fact that I'm Ugandan, the fact that I've been a female entrepreneur in Africa, the fact that I've worked in tech in Africa means that the way I see it, it wasn't easy to get funding for Happy to Africa, because a lot of people wanted to know, what are the ideas that you're going to fund? What is the idea that's going to improve themselves? And I'm saying, I don't know what the ideas are. I know these amazing young people have ideas. And I think, so that's where, having that confidence, because I think, like you said, if you're sitting in if you've been part of a sector that, historically has been about, we know best and we kind of go in, like, you don't necessarily see it that way. And that's where bringing, bringing people like me being able to be in London, being able to be at those tables. I speak at a lot of social innovation conferences and forums now, just, bringing that unique perspective. And I guess it's a call out to people as well in the sector, other diaspora as well. Like, your voice, those experiences, those ideas we have do bring a different view and insight to the people. And so everything that we create. And I guess another thing as well is, even though, like I said, I'm all those things, I'm African, I'm an entrepreneur, I never assumed that I knew, like, this is a program. I still sort of go in, we co-innovated with our local partner in Ghana, because I know I'm from Uganda and it's not the same as in Ghana. So we really had to think about, when we were developing the curriculum, what would resonate, how do we tailor it so it makes more sense, and locally, what were some of the things we need to think about. So even when you're, kind of look like the people you're representing, you still have to have that humility to understand that it's not always, copy and paste. It's, we have to apply the same things we're always saying to the sector, like it's not copy and paste and everything. And then sometimes a risk that when it's you and you think, oh yeah, I'm African, so I now have all the like license to do the copy and pasting. Yeah, I really, because I'm so like, I try to be an entrepreneur in Africa, and it's just the hardest thing. I mean, it's hard to be an entrepreneur anywhere, but honestly in Africa, so I have such a huge amount of respect.
Right.
And kind of like going in feeling like you can't waste people's time, you know. It's people's livelihoods, it's people really trying to make a future for themselves, so making sure that what we were able to provide was actually really useful and really beneficial, and just treating it as really seriously, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I was answering the question anymore.
I've forgotten what the question was now.
But no, yeah, it's something I'm really
Actually, I've remembered. Yeah, no, it was about how to bring, you know, innovative ideas from people, you know, for want of a better word, on the ground into development in different ways. And I think I sort of started by saying I think we're not very good at that generally.
Yeah.
I really like the way you talked about doing that, and then also the caution that like about copy and paste, which I really love that as a turn of phrase for it, because we're all really good at that. You know, like, oh, it worked there, so why wouldn't it work here, you know?
Exactly. So I guess my answer in summary to that would be like a call to all the people that have that connection, that have that experience, to really just, you know, I know it's not easy always to get into those spaces, but we have to get in there and kind of challenge things and bring those new ideas to the table. Yeah, it's not always easy, but yeah, it has to be done.
Yeah, I want to actually sort of on maybe a slightly similar note, your book. I just wanted to mention the book and just invite you to say something about it, and then maybe pick one or two stories from it to, you know, shed a bit of light. Would be nice.
So Founding Women actually kind of built on, you know, on top of Her Future Africa, because one of the things that the feedback we got from the young women who went through Her Future Africa program was that, you know, the mentors being able to bring in other women the sessions that had actually run businesses, and they were able to ask them questions, and just really seeing someone that had been where they were with just an idea, and then make it was so important to them. It was something that people highlighted over and over again as kind of like the thing, one of the key things that they took away. And again, I'm always trying to think about how do we take that, how do we impact at scale? And that's how I started thinking about the book. First of all, part of our mission with the program is demystifying technology as this thing that's, you know, I think there's a lot of people that have been brought up, particularly in Africa, you know, engineering or technology is seen as this, you know, male-dominated field. And we just wanted to demystify that. So I wrote up a collection of interviews. I interviewed 20 women from 13 different African countries, living in Africa, most of them, but also from the diaspora. Who are running businesses in tech. And I was very intentional in interviewing people that had different pathways into technology. So, you know, those that had studied engineering or had done computer, to those that are running tech businesses. So one of them was a lady who actually started out in fashion. She doesn't have a tech background at all. She's running an energy tech startup, like tech as you can possibly get. Another one, again, no technology background, had worked a bit in health, but in health marketing, and is doing a really cool startup in Nigeria, you know, called Life Bank. She's called Temi, and you know, she's just this incredible solution that is actually helping to save lives, because they find out what blood is at different blood banks. They know what's running short, and then when there is a need at a hospital, they literally put in a request, and Life Bank finds which locations have that blood available. They're able to collect it, do the logistics of actually getting it delivered, and because they're monitoring these supplies, they're able to see see what the demand is for which types of blood are needed more, and therefore when the stocks are running low, like advise blood drives and get people to come and donate. So it's such an important piece of work that is needed not only in Nigeria, all of Africa. And just hearing her journey, the challenges, I was so like inspired by this story. But you see someone doing something so incredible, and then you sit down with them and you realize, like, just like you, they saw a problem, and just like you, they didn't